Luke, you really think North will win this game?
I really think North will win this game. They were going to be my lock this week.
You've changed.
Oh my god.
Far out. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Is it just like it? Do we do a 2-minute silence, like just to kick off the show? Or?
Hello and welcome to Footy Abroad, ladies and gentlemen. Here on this lovely Tuesday, the 24th of June, 2025. We've scrapped the intro. We are straight into it. We are pommyless tonight because the Blues have a game on Thursday, so everything gets crammed in. But luckily, we've got Jake back. Hello, lads. How you doing?
Good, mate. On top of the world, you know.
Not quite, but I'm good.
You feeling better, Jake?
Yes, yeah, feeling good. Re-energized. And plenty to talk about. I did skim through the show last week just to see how much you guys took the piss out of me in my absence, because I know you can kick someone when they're down, when they're not around, and they can't back it up. But to your credit, you were pretty respectful. I was surprised. I thought there'd be a lot more. Like even Terry, talking to Woody and saying Jake would pump the Saints up at this point and this and that. I was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I would. So
I was Team Jake last week. I felt like I know the flag at times. Yeah.
I know, and Swoop was extra perky and everything. I'm like, mate, if I were there, you know what I mean? Like, it would have been a bit more of a 50-50, but no, it was a good show last week. Good to have two special guests on that have done some great work this season. So one of them would be very happy right now watching this show, but yeah.
I actually did message Marnie to see if she would be available to come back on, but she sends her regards and she is busy. So
bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. When you beat the Blues at the MCG on a Saturday afternoon so congratulations to North. It was funny because Luke, before we started the show, guys and girls who were watching, Luke's like, he positioned it very well. He's like, how you feeling after the thing? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, I just don't know how much banter. I'm like,
do you want us to not talk about it? Or how arrogant is that? How arrogant is that? Like, here we go.
And I was like, you know what?
See? No, he doesn't know which one to be. He doesn't know which one to be, Swoop. He's like, do I be arrogant, Swoop? Do I be nice, Swoop? I just don't know. I'm battling.
I'm nice, Swoop, until you tell me you don't know who I am, and then I'm arrogant. Then I'm arrogant, Swoop.
Yep.
You're that character in that movie, James McAvoy, where he's got like multiple personality syndrome.
Split.
Yeah. Yeah. Gives me that vibe.
This is weird because I usually, Pommy usually gets to share in this with me. So I have to face the music. I'm looking forward to facing the music because I ran my mouth and learnt again why you don't run your mouth about the Carlton Football Club. Thank you very much for the team money, John.
That's nice.
So, Peter, this was absolutely Carlton. Look, you know what, guys? Why don't we start with me? And those of you who would like to just shit on Carlton, let it out now, and I'll share your comments on screen while I tell you what happened. May I start, lads? Do you mind if I start?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, go ahead.
Get it all out.
I mean, I don't know. I really do feel like I've lowered the bar. I really do feel like I've lowered the expectation. Like I've gone away from, I wasn't saying this needed to be a percentage boosting game, but I mean, you got to be beating North Melbourne. So I go in there and then by the second quarter, when we've kicked one behind and we've kicked 19 points in a half of football, I am sitting there and, as Pommy would say, biscuit-assed, just dead inside. I was like, wow. Like the whole journey of the channel, the whole journey of my Carlton supporting life came before my eyes. And I was like, oh, okay. They've cooked it. And yeah, I mean, at this point, I've learned that I can't even expect them to improve in a second half of the season from the first half of the season, let alone improving from the year before. Like, fucking hell. So I don't know what to do anymore other than just to say, I give up, I surrender, whatever. And the Blues, I can't believe it was 11 points. It's not fair on North Melbourne that it was only 11 points because they belted us and bullied us.
Yeah.
So
it was like I said off screen, it was an absolutely incredible hate watch. It was great. It was great. I had my two screens. I had one screen showing that, the other screen showing the Pies VFL game. But I didn't look when I picked North as my lock. I didn't pick him as my lock to be 46 points up or whatever it was at one stage. I thought it was going to be a hard fought sort of grind. But is this loss worse than the Richmond loss in round one?
I think it's got to be.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be because round one, you can always say, the young Tigers, they're up and about. It's their one good game. They're just excited to be on the G in front of the big crowd. Carlton haven't, got momentum into the season yet. But there are excuses there, right, for these round one, round two losses that are unexpected.
I think anyway.
Yes,
because
when you're 15 rounds in.
But you got to also remember round one, like, fair enough if it was a close-ish game. We were up by 46 points.
True.
So
true. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's fair.
So there's a bit of that too. So what's worse? I think I felt worse in the North game, but that's because the damage of 15 rounds has also added to that. But I think the Richmond loss is one of the worst losses that this group, and I don't think we've recovered as a club from round one. To be quite honest, they're just, and I mean, maybe I am delusional, but I mean, I've accepted the fact that we're not a top team. I've accepted that we're not a top 4 team. I've accepted maybe we can push into the 8. I know I have fun with the predictor, but that's also a little bit of fun. I am very clear. The Blues are no good. They're in this middle bracket. Maybe, maybe I'm delusional because I'm not saying we're bottom 4. Maybe we are bottom 4. But yeah. And what I think I've realized is this whole uncertainty around the club of the incoming CEO, the change of president, all of that, and whose jobs are going to be there next year, that might have something to do with just the tension inside the club, because no one knows who's staying, no one knows who's going. We don't know if Tom's staying or Tom's going as a player. We don't know which coaches are staying and going. We don't even know if the coach is going, the head coach is going to stay. So maybe that's just seeping in and the rot is there, and maybe it's just one of those things. But yeah, the Blues are fucked, mate.
I can actually sorry, just quickly, what you're saying, I can attest to it about with Graham Wright, how you just sort of said, what's going on internally. That's pretty much what happened to us with Graham Wright, ironically as well, when he was like, I'm going to go on a sabbatical, or he goes, I'm going to leave. Then Jeff Brown's like, no, stay. We want you to stay. We'll give you 8 months off and you can come back into a new role. So then he left. We were in sort of purgatory with that. Lepich and Bolton were fighting. No one knew what their positions were. And we had a bunch of injuries, but you could just tell that something was off in the background of it. And they never wanted to admit it. And then a year later at the start of this season, Craig Kelly and stuff sort of come out and said, it did destabilize us a little bit. So, I agree with you there where it can be that destabilization of the back room that we don't always get to see. Definitely does have, players will say, we don't see it, but they 100% do.
Well, they've got to feel it, right? Because I sense that people on the inside are now going into that self-preservation mode because their job's on the line and they want to protect their first interest because they've got a mortgage to pay and kids to feed and et cetera, et cetera. And that energy just, I think, permeates through potentially to the playing group, which 10 of them at the moment are out of contract. And there is talks about trades and this and all of that stuff. So it's, and I mean, this is Carlton's fault. This is the department's fault. Oh my God, I have so many people. I'm really excited for them to move on from the club. I wish they could do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did you what are your thoughts on was it Matthew Lloyd that said only 4 Blues are safe?
So Matthew Lloyd's an interesting one, right? Because he will talk about everything to do with Carlton and leadership and players and this and that. He won't talk about the one cancer that's inside the football club, which is his brother, and that role and that department.
What does he do? Sorry,
He's the head of football.
What is he?
Oh, okay. Yep.
He's the head of football. He has overseen a lot of coaches, assistant coaches, people in the AFL program, the AFLW program. Just a complete mediocre performer, and for some reason he has been able to just escape, and he needs to go. He has to go like tomorrow. And I'm like actually at the point now where I'm crystal clear sure on it, and I kind of have been all year, but now it's just crystal clear. Like this man has to go first before anyone else. I'm that staunch on it.
Yeah.
So Matthew Lloyd's an interesting one because he won't talk about his brother and his department, but he'll talk about the players, which some of them need to kick up the ass too.
Yeah. I think as a Collingwood supporter, like obviously we revel in the mess that Carlton are right now, right? That's no, it is what it is, right? But I can tell you right now that with Graham Wright coming in, and I know it looks a little bit how's it going at the moment, but with him coming in, maybe not next year, but just wait for the fucking huge turnaround. This guy wins flags. As much as I hate to see it, and I wish you guys bottomed out for the rest of my life, this guy wins flags. He's done it at Hawthorn. He did it, he oversaw getting rid of Buckley and then all those big contract stuff. He came in 2021 or 2021, and then a couple of years later we win the flag, and he oversaw all of that. He is once the roles are sorted, and maybe it takes him 6 or so months to sort of get into it when he's in that role. You guys will look at this and go, "Fuck, this is exactly what we needed." And I guarantee you, if that Lloyd is weaving his way around at the moment like a rat, he's a rat on a sinking ship. Let me tell you, as soon as Graham Wright comes in there and fine tooth combs everything, you guys in 2 years will be fucking laughing.
Yeah. Inshallah. I hope so.
Inshallah.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, like, that's a lot of responsibility on one bloke, even if his CV is excellent. The club has still got to... Yeah, true. But the club has still got to really embrace it, and you can't, again, put all your eggs in one basket. Like, everyone's got to get on board, yeah? So as much as you can just sit back and go, oh, we'll get him and it's perfect, you don't know until it bloody happens. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake... Mate, the Saints, they put up a fight, lock of the week type stuff by me. Just, that was the story.
Oh, yeah, we were all right. Yeah, I was happy with what I saw. Like I said it in my review. I mean, some Saints gave me hate for it, which was weird. But, I mean, with 9 minutes to go, 10 points down against a team that's on top of the ladder, and anytime they kind of got 20 away, we brought it back to 10, and it hung around that 10 to 15, 16 points for, I feel like, 80% of the game, maybe more. It felt like, it was one of those games where I never thought we were really a chance, but to our credit, when we got chances, we took them, and it kind of kept us in the game. Like anytime we scored, I felt like it was a little bit against the flow, and maybe that was just because it was a stadium full of Collingwood people, and it just felt like, anytime they kicked a goal, there was so much energy, and it felt a little bit subdued and against the tide. But I kind of liked that we still chipped away and we had a good attitude about it, and Kilda did some nice things. Tyroo did some nice things on his debut in the heat of the battle, and I was just happy with a better structure around the ball, and we won a lot of the key stats, which I know they're just numbers at the end of the day, but against a top team, I kind of think that's pretty good. And it was just better than the week before. Like, let's face it, night and day. Just the application, the effort against the Dogs versus against the Pies. We came in with a much more switched on mentality, and it showed up until the last 10 minutes, and Collingwood do that. So I said it in my preview. I said Collingwood aren't going to do a Bulldogs and belt us for 80 points, but they'll hold us at arm's length for 20 points, which is a fair chunk, like a fair margin for them because they're so well put together defensively. It's hard to score goals on them. And we kicked 74. I mean, with 9 minutes to go, the game was on, and we kind of, I guess, showed our inexperience, and they showed their class. Some of their best players got going and kicked a couple late goals, and that was the game. But yeah, I don't think there's anything there for me to rant about and that sort of thing. We played. I mean, Filippo, the late out was devastating. I was so pumped to see him at the centre bounce, and then he re-injures himself, which raises a lot of questions in our medical department again. Dougal Howard this week re-injures himself. Max King out for the year after 3 times, them saying he's a chance to play. Filippo, that's the second time in 3 weeks that he's... he didn't even get on the ground in this one. In Melbourne, he played 5 minutes and then was out. So that's twice now Filippo's played 5 minutes and been pulled from the game. So, just raises questions on that preparation and, how ready really was he, despite him saying he was ready. I mean, it's on the club at the end of the day. But, Pie's too good, but we showed something. So that's kind of my view.
Is that the template for what you want to see as a St Kilda supporter for the rest of the year? Because, I'm not digging. The Blues suck, but, we did speak a little bit about Kane Corns last week and the bottom 4 stuff. Like what, because obviously in your mind, you've been asking online, should we play the kids? Should we not? So, where does the St Kilda supporter sit on what you want to see now?
We want to see the players that we think are the future now. So, but it still has to be, there still has to be selection integrity. So if there's youngsters at the VFL level that aren't performing, they don't just get gifted games. They need to find form. Like Dan Butler will keep his spot, not Lance Collard, just because Lance is younger and going to be around longer. It's not how it's going to work. But if there's a chance to do it, like Hugo Garcia and Boxall dominating VFL again, there's a chance this week for, some people will probably say a Ryan Burns, who was an emergency that came in for Filippo, and Travalia stayed the sub, which was some people didn't like, but I kind of understood why. And Hunter Clark not quite getting going, but I want him to stay in the team. So there's room there, but we want to see, by the end of the year, I want to see the team that I can picture for the next 3 years. Minus Filippo and King probably, but they'll be there. They're obviously key pillars of that 5-year plan, and obviously and beyond that. So more of that, please.
Swoop Luke, we'll start off with your 5 gifted memberships by Ben Zero.
Ben, the GOAT. Thank you so much, mate. I saw a couple of people. I actually don't know how gifted memberships work, but I saw some people saying thank you. So I assume they
got one.
Yeah, probably got one. Yeah, so I don't know how that, but Ben, thank you so much. That's absolutely appreciated. It goes a long way to supporting me and supporting the channel and supporting the Pies, really, at the end of the day.
Talk to us. It just doesn't stop. It's inevitable. The Pies are inevitable at the moment.
Yeah, we're almost Thanos level of our life at the moment. It's it's a good. Obviously, it's a very, very good bloody position to be in this time. So going back 2 years in 2023 at round 14, it was exactly the same amount of wins. So 12 and 2, pretty much exactly the same percentage as well. So identical. These from 2023 to 2025 is almost identical, except we're defending a lot better now. So I don't know that when I saw that this morning, it lit a little bit of a fire in my belly. But the game against the Saints on the weekend, I guess I echo a lot of Jake's sentiments. Like I enjoyed the Saints. I'm glad it wasn't like a blowout. I thought it might have been like the Western Bulldogs game, which is good for us because it would have been percentage. But the Saints, to their credit, bounced right back from that Doggies game, and not every team has a bloody Sam Darcy in there. But just absolutely insane. But I really enjoyed it. I do think that Collingwood are trying something different this year, where we're playing like a rope-a-dope style, and we saw it against the Roos and a little bit against Hawthorn as well, where for the first half of the game, we're really just saying, throw everything you can at us. We'll do what we can to stave you off, but you wreck yourselves. And you remember that one Simpsons episode where Homer's a boxer and he just keeps getting smashed in the face, and then he just hits him right at the end in the last round when they get and that's what I really feel like Collingwood's game has gone to the next level. But it was just great to see. And Nick Dacos was able to tag Windhager pretty well. He didn't get a lot of the ball, which was nice. And Nick as a tagger had 30 and kicked one as well. So that was fantastic. But man, look, six in a row, and we got a pretty good couple of weeks coming up, and then we go to the Gold Coast, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what they sort of look like at home. But next 2 weeks should be really, really nice.
So I had an Uber driver today. I think he's a Collingwood supporter, and he was sort of saying like, "Oh, you must be." I said to him, "You must be pretty excited. It's great." Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, but a little bit nervous. I don't want to peak too early." And it's really interesting because we spend the first 8 to 10 weeks of any footy season trying to figure out, are we going to be good or not as each team every year. So like, I think the pies, you tick that off, like, they're going to be better than good. But now are you at this point where it's like, okay, guys, we need to bottle this up and we need to make sure we're playing this good, if not better in finals? Like, what's that like?
Yeah. So I think it's the same sort of energy we had in 2023. It is a weird position to be in because I know that we're not peaking at all. Like we could, we should be, apologies, Jake, but we should be burying teams like St Kilda. And I don't think when we play West Coast,
that's bullshit. That's bullshit. He said last week, if we don't beat the Saints by more than 50, we're not a serious football club. I guess you're not a serious football club then.
We're not a serious football club. Like I don't even think that we'll beat West Coast by over 50 points. So I don't think we're peaking at all. And we've got a lot of guys injured, waiting to come back straight into the team. Jordan DeGoey, Braden Maynard, Lockie Schultz all automatically come back into the team. It's just about, it's about the lead. It's the last month. It's the last 4 weeks where you want to get right in. But then you look at 2023. So in my mind, I'm going, okay, it's the last 4 weeks where you want to start playing your good football. You want everyone, fit, firing, and ready to go. But then you look at the end of 2023, we got done back-to-back by Carlton and Hawthorn. We lost 3 of our last 4 games or something like that. And no Premier has ever lost 3 of their last 4 games and then gone on to win the flag. So it's hard. It's just hard to say because literally this game, anything can happen. But if we beat West Coast this week, we go 2.5 games clear on top. So it gives you a little bit of breathing space to see what Oscar Steen looks like in the ruck, to see what Charlie West looks like as a big key forward if someone goes down. Can we win games without Jordan DeGoey? So play some young kids. So it'll be a nice little, these next 4 or 5 weeks are going to be a nice little reset almost. And I dare say you do start seeing older players really take a break in the next, maybe after the Gold Coast game, they'll start really if we're still 2.5 games clear, they'll start resting a lot of players.
Got to say, thanks to Swoop for always hanging out outside training in the cold so Ben Zero can watch it from his warm room.
It was bloody freezing today. It was bloody and windy, really windy as well.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you guys can't see my chat. I've said it very clearly. It's Collingwood-Brisbane rematch. It's coming.
That's not even like taking away Collingwood for a second. If Brisbane make another grand final, 3 in a row, how fucking wild is that? That's nuts. But they're a good sign.
Who would you prefer to play?
Lions. Yeah. I can't trust my team against Geelong. There's recent history. I can't trust them against Geelong.
Okay. Fair. All right. Let's get stuck. We've got 3 co-hosts here. Let's do 3 topics, questions. Jake, you want to start?
Yes, I do. I've got 2, but I'll pick which one do I think is more interesting. Okay. What if we talk about AFL media? We talk about if we controlled it, if it was a different way. But what if there was no AFL media? How different would footy actually feel the week to week? There's no talk back. There's no newspapers. No hot takes. No hot takes like Jack Riewoldt saying that Ben King isn't a key forward.
Oh my God.
What the hell are you thinking, Jack Riewoldt? That is some of the shittiest takes I've ever heard, mate. What if we didn't hear that?
Wait, are you saying like no footy media but fan channel still existed,
Uh,
or nothing, nothing to watch, consume.
yeah, I was
talk.
thinking, just AFL media in general. How would that be the week to week? Would that make the game feel more pure? Would it separate us even more? How would it feel?
So back when it was like in the 90s maybe, or early 2000s.
Yeah. I mean, let's go back there.
Oh fuck, that's
Well, there were no
there's
forums.
There's no forums, there's no narratives. So say like the Dacos Windy thing, that wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't brought to our attention. Do you know what I mean? What if that didn't happen?
Well, then players would have less pressure to perform.
Yeah, probably a bit more of a better.
Do you think it'd be
a
a better spectacle? Players would express themselves more because they know they're not going to jump online on Insta and get 500 DMs.
I think so. Definitely be better for their mental health, 100%. And with that becomes a lot more freedom. You see less people taking time away from the game, and we don't see 1,000 footy shows regurgitating the same shit, hoping it smells a little bit different, which is good for our mental health as well.
Devil's advocate, but would say the lack of those stories and the narratives, I guess, would the theatrics of football die a little bit? Like players playing their old teams, not pumping that up. The rivalries, the fact that the talk shows pump that up as well. Does it really how would the rivalry work? Would it be just more, in personal situations where you'd get that hit,
Yeah, I think it'd be more fan generated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
people
Collingwood
will be going, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's just say it's Carlton, Collingwood. I would be more inclined, if there was no content and whatever, to get to the game 3 hours earlier and going to the Collingwood meetup in March and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? So you can get in and amongst it, and that's really, and you're saving all your pent up footballing energy for game day, not for arguments on Facebook about who's the better player or who's going to, take the world by storm in 10 years' time. So you're unleashing it all in the one day.
I always wonder, like, the excitement of game day when I think back to even when I was at school, and I didn't obviously do the channel then. I didn't consume football media really, apart from like The Winners with Clinton Gribus. He was awesome, obviously, before he passed away, and he was great at that, and I love that show. But that's all I consumed. But when it came to like getting to Thursday, Friday, I'd start getting butterflies for the Saturday, Sunday games. I'd be getting really excited because I guess it feels like such a long time between each game. Whereas now, when this game's done, you're already thinking about next week, not just because you're doing content for it, but because every day there is an article about your team. There is different talk shows talking about your team. There's comments online that talking shit about your team. Strip that all back, and you're really just thinking game to game. And in between, I feel like there's more of a build-up. That's a positive, but there's plenty of pros and cons to that situation. I just thought it was an interesting question, given
it is an interesting question.
Some of the narratives this week and the directions that they've gone has been quite interesting, to say the least. Just feel like it creates a lot of echo chambers. I think that's the word, right?
Yeah, echo chambers.
I think echo chambers. Yeah, I just think it creates a lot of that, where just it's. Collingwood fans will stick there, Carlton fans will stick there, strip that back, and maybe in some way or another, like you said, pre-game at a pub or something, you mix a little bit more and share the stories and the experience.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. It's like if like not that I do this full time now, but like when I was at work and I would be doing all this content, consuming all this media, I'd get to work. And people would be wanting to talk about like the football and stuff. I'd just be like too tuned out, like, because I'm consuming all the footy media. I'm making it all myself. And then it's like, oh, now I've got to sort of talk about it naturally. Whereas if there's none of that, you look forward to that 10-minute coffee where you guys are just talking so much. I'm not saying it doesn't happen now, but it's would be a little bit more exciting,
Well, that's a great point, because like now and this is, I guess, an extension of my point, but like at social settings or maybe with non-football focused friends that then want to talk about football and how's St Kilda going, how's Carlton, how's Collingwood going? You know, do you approach that differently because you talk about it and you feel like you could say so much, but you like want to come across as just a fan and not a guy that like sits within the four walls and understands every aspect of the club, you know?
Yeah,
I think that was a question, but it's all right.
Oh yeah. No, it's a weird one, especially like, especially when I have like family, when family sort of come up, and when I'm at like a event or something, and I'm just at the event to like drink and just chill out, and it's my time with family. I put my phone away, and then it's like bang, and I get it. I understand why, and I love it, and I love talking about it, but. And actually, it'll lead really well into my question as well. But it does get a lot when there's so much to consume, where you just also need that little break. So, I reckon keep content creators, but get rid of all footy media, and we'll be laughing.
No more tweets from Kane.
Can we touch on it? Or can we talk about it? Can we not talk about it? Or
I loved it. But that
was so good.
But it talks to him as a person, mate. When I have reached out so often, even after losses, and I've said, "Come on the channel, let's have a chat." No response. And then he's gone back to a tweet from 3 months ago and brought that up. I'm like, bro, we beat Port that week, yeah? We beat Port. I think it was warranted. Okay, and Port aren't doing much better, and you never talk about them. So I just feel like it was a bit.
I think it's brilliant by Kane. You know what, Kane, mate? Get around Jake, mate.
I bookmarked it. I'm waiting. Waiting. I've bookmarked it.
So what have you bookmarked? Sorry, which one?
I've bookmarked his tweet, so when we're not in the top on the bottom, point, I'll reignite it years later.
So the chronicles
just
of
the eyes.
Jake and Kane will begin.
He'll get on the channel at some point. It will happen. It will happen.
100%.
Yeah.
It'll happen 100%.
Yeah.
That's why I like what Kane and Kingy do it well. They interact. And then when people get stupid, they back away, and fair enough. I've had one interaction with Kane where he's replied, it was when he went at Sam Walsh in his first year. And I basically said, Rosie's a star, but just appreciate Walsh. Like, you're picking on a 19-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid. And he sort of like thumbs up me and like acknowledged it. So like, fair play. He did well. I like him. I think they're both great.
See, Kane versus Swoop for charity boxing. Yeah, I got nothing against Kane, but I'll fight him.
I don't give a fuck. So Jake, your topic is a great segue into mine. I'm going to take this. So Luke, you can go last.
All of ours are segues. This is great.
It's actually a good segue. Yeah.
Because my question is, what does fan content look like in 50 years from today? So the year is 2075. What have we done, and where does it go? Like, visualize, picture, like what does the landscape actually look like for fan content?
2075, you said.
2075.
Sainers, it's been 109 years since our last flag. Go you mighty... Oh, my arm. No, sorry. It's 50 years. Damn. There's going to be a lot of podcasts. I know that much. It's going to be about 1,000 podcasts.
Look, I hate to sound old and like my dad right now, but in 50 years, there's going to be so much AI generated footy content that there isn't going to be any need for us.
You reckon?
In 50 years.
Oh, you reckon someone will just script and say, okay, make AFL YouTuber review Carlton Saints on the weekend, be angry, and they'll pump it out?
Yep, 100%. And it'll be a no-face fucking AI generate. You can do it now. Like, you can do it now if you have the money, you know?
For work, I'm experimenting with that VO3 at the moment. It is terrifying I'm just experimenting with that, not for the channel, for my work, my full-time work, but very interesting how I mean, you can still tell the difference. Like I can anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe because I've spent hours working on it, but it's very powerful, and that's only really been released this year. So you can imagine in the next, not 50 years, in the next 18 months, how crazy good it's going to be. So,
like I did a, and I'm sorry if this is digressing a little bit too much, but I ran a little bit of an experiment with, and I haven't told anyone this yet. I ran an experiment with AI a few months ago. I did a doco style video. I think it was my Jamie Elliott one, and I just wanted to see how powerful AI was. Right, I programmed an AI to listen to 3 hours of my voice from different videos, and I wrote my entire script up because I was going to do a Jamie Elliott video anyway, and I was like, let me see what it sounds like, and I got AI to read my entire script. Sounded exactly like me, and no one picked up on it. If you can do that now, in 50 years, it is going to be cooked for us. You know, and even but on the plus side, or that's a glass half empty approach. On a glass half full approach, we could, you know, with let's look at Apple Vision. You can put the glasses on and watch the NBA. Who's to say that, you know, we won't be able to do that with our content in 50 years, like a AR, or, you know, some sort of, you're there watching the game. Imagine we're talking about the game and we can move pieces like chess on a board when everyone's watching.
Interesting.
Sorry, AI rant.
Yeah. So I don't disagree completely about the AI thing. However, I do disagree that it'll completely take over certain fan channels. So I don't think AI will truly be able to foster community and that feeling of connection.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if we're all still human in 2050, then we will all yearn for human connection and, you know, to feel a part of community and feel a part of something. So I think that's where, you know, the three of us in particular become very important, whether we're training our next people to, I don't know if we'll all be doing this in 50 years. I doubt it, but we'll see. I think the creators who stand out will be the ones that bring the, you know, the real humanity, vulnerability and sort of meaning to the game in a world that's going to be pretty digital and pretty simulated. I think the whole traditional footy media model dead, like
100%,
TV rights,
100%,
exclusive broadcasters, like, you know, the controlled narratives that we've been talking about, like done. Fans will try. I mean, fans who watch fan channels already trust fan channels more than mainstream media already. So that's just going to continue to grow. And I just can't see how the AFL Commission don't set up some sort of an advisory board for the channels. I just can't see how that isn't a reality. It's but I do think we'll definitely be blending a mix of like us and also AR, VR into our content. You know, like right now you're sitting in your living room, lounge room, bedroom, watching on your TV plus your phone. I think at some point we'll all have the ability to step into some sort of virtual world together as holographs or something. And it's going to be interesting.
100%. Like I'm reading, excuse me, I'm reading this book series now called, I think I might have talked about it, Dungeon Crawler Carl. And it's about this game show, this alien game show where they take over Earth. Anyway, I digress. So they've got this thing where they pick these crawlers out, and they put on this holographic mask or whatever it is, and then they go into like a studio, but they're not really there, and all the audience that they see aren't really there either. They've just paid for this subscription or whatever it is, so it looks like it's a full studio audience, but there's no one physically there. But you're seeing all of these people. So everyone in our comment section, we would be seeing right now, we'd be sitting next to each other, can't physically interact, but it'll be exactly, you know, like that. And I think you're right, Terry. That'll be 50 years, like 100% that'll come through. Yep.
No, it's I think that's why sometimes, I mean, I get stuck in it as well. sometimes we get a little caught up in, why aren't we getting certain opportunities and this and this and that, and those sorts of things that you start feeling like, oh, hang on, what about us? Like, that's a natural feeling. But I do think when it's all said and done in, like, forget about 50 years, but like in 10 years from today alone, 20 years from today alone, like it's all going to be, we're going to be like looking back and laughing at how long it took everyone to just like, latch onto it. So yeah, interesting stuff.
Well, just in saying that as well, you're trying to see, you can sort of see like Seven and stuff, not so much fan content like we're doing, but they are trying to change the game with, like, they do that players talk or something where it's that random host. I don't know his name. Sorry. But, he's with those players, and then they did like a kids thing with like a kids view. So I think you're right. I think they'll catch up, but I think we'll be too far in front of them by the point that they start. Yeah.
Someone's made a comment here, which I think is a really good. So Scott, TV needed to allow fans interaction on their shows, and they blew it. They don't understand. I think that is the key there. Like the live stuff, the interactive stuff. I think that's the key. I mean, we're sitting in front of our cameras, talking, screen, whatever, but there are a couple hundred people right now sitting in their comfort of their home, watching on a screen or watching on a screen and phone in hand. So we're already starting to mold the behavior of how people are engrossed in a show. Like, you don't get to be on a show in a live chat other than when you're on YouTube at the moment.
Yeah.
No. It's interesting stuff.
Oh, 50
maybe a thing to think about, and I just had this quick thing. Footy Abroad end of year in person podcast show with fans. Now with fans as well.
Do a grand final show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I reckon that'd be fucking sick.
Get a venue, pump it out, couple hundred people. That can be done.
Yeah, 100%.
Easy. 100%. That could easily be done.
Anyway.
Okay. Luke, you got a topic?
Yeah, and it kind of blends in with what everyone's sort of saying. So my topic is called, I wrote it down, hang on. The fear of missing out versus the joy of missing out. So I kind of had this thought today where I was coming home from training, and I was like, all right, I've got to get home. I've got to record this, got to do that, got to do that. Got to do all this sort of content. But it's like, with all the content that I'm doing, and I know I'm doing this full time, so it's off my own sort of back. What have I missed out on or had to have said no to keep doing what I'm doing? Like one of my good friends, Mitch, he had a winter solstice party with some of my other friends, and they were doing like wreaths and stuff like that. But I couldn't go because I had to go to get to the ground early. I had an interview that I was doing there, and then watching the game. So I've had to say no to this sort of stuff, and it was just kind of making me think. And I'm happy to say no to that because I find the joy in what I do in that stuff. But there's others where I'm like, oh, I can't come to your party because I've really got to get this video out, or I really got to do this, really got to do that. Is that something that you guys experience as well, or how do you find that? How do you strike that balance? Like, I'd love to play more board games, but I don't have time because I'm doing, all of this sort of stuff.
That's a good question. I mean, I'm trying to think of the biggest thing that I've said no to. I mean, there was I was best man at a wedding. I went to the wedding, gave a speech, but they did like an extended weekend type thing where you could stay like an extra day and continue to celebrate. But it was round one that weekend. I think we played on the Saturday night or the early Sunday, so I didn't do that. But I did the wedding. I did my part and then left. And then most of the time it would be, I mean, week to week, I try not to say no to too many things. I'm one of those guys that like I want to try and make myself available. So I'll try and that's why I guess my week is I try to keep it as routine as I can. So I try to make sure that I know when everything's coming out. Some videos aren't even me, which is great. So it's just Ari and Woody doing their great work and sending it in, and it's essentially just edit and upload. So that gives me certain days a week where I'm available, and I just stick to that. So I'm never not available. It's just certain days where I need some flexibility, and then I try to get the videos out as early as I can. And then majority of the biggest things I would say I've missed is probably just like barbecues on a Sunday at my yayas or something like that. When the game's on, I'm like, and then sometimes there's been times where we have a afternoon game on a Saturday. I finish 8, 9 o'clock and I drive to my mum's and they're 45 minutes from me, and I'll have a tea and watch a bit of the replay, then go home. So I still try and, bridge that gap where I can do all of it. Sometimes, it burns you out, but I guess I haven't said no to, like, I love playing FIFA back in the day, but I definitely don't turn on the PS5 as much as I used to, like, to be honest. Used to play that too much. So it's a good thing that I can put my mind to something a bit more creative and fulfilling, but I don't think I've missed out on too many, maybe a birthday here and there, but not too much in the end, which is lovely.
I chose a different life. I mean, I had a girlfriend. We lived in Tel Aviv. I made a decision to come back to Australia and see if YouTube would even work or be fit. Like, it wasn't monetized at all. The YouTube channel wasn't even alive. It was on Facebook. So it was all just a dream. And, I also sacrificed, if you want to call it that, I would have been making a lot more money if I had just stayed as a full-time lawyer for the last 8, 9 years, whatever. So, like, you sort of think about that. I definitely took a step back on, lifestyle and earning potential and, the ability to buy a place and that kind of thing. But it was, I don't look at it as something I've lost. I look at it as more as something I gained, because it was what was really important to me was, can I do it? Can I create a life? More than anything, like, is it really possible? And it's like, you know what, fuck it. Even if it fails, I'll go back and find a job pretty easily. So it was just always in search of that. So, I mean, so, like, I think financially, I think relationship wise, like, obviously it's, sacrificed a bit there.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Terry.
So that's what could have been, but I would have been miserable if I had stayed as a full-time lawyer. I remember seeing my boss when I was, like, in my first or second year, and, like, he had the cars, he had the properties, he had it all. And I remember looking at his face and being like, he's fucking miserable. He's not happy. And I was like, nah, there's got to be more to life than this, which was a weird thing to think. But so you sacrifice things, but that's just the choices that you make, and I'm glad I did. But am I glad that I'm sitting here 8 years later and the Blues are losing to, like, 2 of the bottom 3 fucking? They lost to 2 of the bottom 3 teams, man. 2 of them.
There's a good comment by Jen, if you want to get it up. Psychology speaking, you cannot miss out on anything. You can't miss what you haven't actually experienced. It's just the idea.
True.
Which is a really good comment.
True.
By Jen. So,
sorry. Go.
No, I was just going to say to that point. Yeah, it is. It's just the idea. There's you're gaining more. Like, Terry's gaining more by fulfilling what he wants to do now. He's not missing out on anything because he's making up the difference with what he's enjoying. So I totally agree with that. Good comment.
Yeah. So it's a great question. What about you? Yeah, it's a great question.
No, I think it's just I've just been crashing out lately. Like, this last week or so, I mean, just full crashing out, like, at night, and I don't know, really don't know what's sort of going on. And when you're sort of in that sort of headspace where you start questioning, like, everything, and it's just like, oh man, what am I done? Have I done the right choice? And I know that everything that I've done in my life has led me to this position that I'm in now, and I'm forever grateful. But it's like, I think it's like a sliding doors moment, and one that I'm happy that I'm on this side of the door and not, up like I was doing plumbing at one stage. Like, I'm happy that I'm not a fucking plumber, But it was just something that I was just thinking about. Something I was just thinking about today. But I think it's like what Jake said. I just got to get into a better routine and a better I guess just a routine, I can start finding more time during the day and not feeling so burnt out. So I just wanted to know how you guys sort of dealt with it as well.
Oh man, the first, I'm gonna say, as far as like 15 months of like the jump away from full-time work and this being it, like it's like starting again. Like you are responsible for your schedule. There's no one telling you what to do and do it. And it's probably, I think this year is the year where I've added, like, I fill the calendar up. I try and do things at the same time. Like things happen, and sometimes I'll go to the G and film an interview, and that'll change up the whole concept of the morning and how it starts. But like you just have to be accountable for your time, because it can float, and it can, and especially when you're doing live shows at night, you got to stay busy. What's that phrase? Idle hands are the devil's something. That's taken me a long-ish time to really like own like every second, every minute. And I'm not great at it, but I'm better at it than what I was this time last year,
Yeah, I think that's what it is as well. Like, I'm only, June? So 6 months into taking this full time, and Scott, like Scott just said, it's your own boss. It's like the jump from, the only thing I can sort of equate it to at the moment is like the jump from finishing high school, where every day you knew what was going to happen. You'd start at 8:30, you finish at 3:30, you do homework, whatever it may be. Then going into the workforce where you're doing part-time work and you're trying to make up what you're doing if you're not going to uni and stuff like that. So it's a big leap, but one that I'm very, very grateful for. But if it took you 15 months, mate, it's going to take me twice as long. So, but no, it's a good, it's a good
season is easy, because like the games happen and
exactly.
So like it carries you. Off season is like, that's when the demons come. And that's also now why I go to Thailand. I go to heal. And, for more context, like, Carlton, like it's damaging. So you spend the season damaging your emotions to a degree, also strengthening them, and building resilience. And then in the off season, it's like, get the fuck out of this country and just heal, and that's, I could be wrong. I could be doing it all wrong, and I might be changing it up again, but we'll see.
But if it works for you, right? How can you be wrong?
Yeah, it works for me. Yeah. But man, at the end of the day, like, fuck it. We're all going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we all end up in the same. You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly right.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Right. We all get so caught up in like doing things to prove something to either the external world or even to ourselves. And that's fine. And then you prove it to yourself, or you prove it to the external world. Then you realize that's not the be all and end all. Like, happiness and all of this thing. It's not a place that you reach and you have it forever. You just do it. You just are.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No. Be good to do it full time at some point. I'll join you boys.
But don't rush and don't feel like that validates, you.
No, not at all.
You're not any. Yeah, it's.
I'm stoked to think of what I could do with a little bit more time. If I'm, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, 100%.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Great questions. What's next? Fuck. Wow, what are we doing? That was great. Is it? Do we tip? No, we will not be doing the predictor, guys and girls. I know that
he's learned his lesson. See, that's karma. That's karma, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, just kind of man dream. Like, come on, man.
You've been dreaming for 2 years since that prelim. Let's face it.
Do you blame me?
Welcome to my world.
So this is where the state of things is at the moment. Like, this is the reality of the league right now. Obviously, the Suns are 2 games behind some teams, but mostly 1 game behind some teams.
Yeah.
Can I raise a question here, right?
Mm-hmm.
How far down the ladder do you go before you start seeing teams that are not sure things.
That are not
what,
sure
sorry?
things.
Sure thing. Like, okay, sorry.
Oh,
Okay, let me just tell you, like Collingwood, I'm convinced. Brisbane, I'm convinced. Geelong, I'm convinced. Adelaide, I'm pretty much convinced, but I still feel like they've got slip-ups in them. Every team from 5th down has had question marks.
yeah, yep.
Like flaky, can be flaky, really flaky.
Well, let's look. Collingwood's got West Coast. They'll win that. Brisbane's got the bye and then Port, I imagine.
Yeah, Brisbane's got the bye.
Yeah, so
Yep.
they'll win that.
So maybe we should just do it this way.
Geelong will win.
Oh God, Thursday night. Shit.
Oh, he's done it.
No, well, this is just a tip the round. No predictor, after this round we'll
Well,
just...
I was going to say, I think the top 8 is almost, to me, almost set. I can see
So
the Suns. I can see the Suns finishing 9th, and everyone's saying that is catastrophic with the start of the year they had, and I couldn't believe in the. I don't know what. I mean, I tuned in late to the Gold Coast GWS game, but I couldn't believe that late in the game they were talking about Gold Coast fighting back late when the Suns were down all day and won the game amazingly.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very odd way to frame the game when the Suns were leading all day and bottled it. Like, let's face it.
Yeah, they were playing so well.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird to me, but
Is there a less convincing team that's won 5 games in a row than Fremantle?
I didn't even realize they won 5 games in a row.
I've watched them a bit the last few weeks. I don't believe it. Maybe I'm being a hater.
Can you hover over each win? Let's just see them because it'll tell us the team and margin. Just go over the W's.
I need to do it this way.
So
they just beat the Bombers.
That's all right. That's questionable. I mean, Suns.
That's a good win.
That's a good win.
Suns a good win.
That's
Port Adelaide.
That's fair. That's what they should do, and that's a pretty good win as well.
Too.
So they've had
two
2 of their 5 have been good wins.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in similar form last time we played them. I
agree with you. Even watching that Essendon game, like there are times during that game where I go, this can't be. They should be well ahead. Essendon have 2/3 of their team out. You know what I mean? They're playing 5 kids from the mid-season draft, and they weren't clean around the ball. Maybe they just sneak. I had them at the start of the year. I had them 4th. I was really convinced at the start of the year, but they just 5 wins in a row. You can't discount it, but you go, it might be just an easier sort of mid-draw that they've got there.
I mean, Brisbane weren't great against the Bombers at the Gabba a few weeks back anyway, and they just banked the points and moved on. So who knows? Maybe Freo are that good that they can play poorly and still bank the wins pretty well. So you can look at both sides of the coin, but we'll see how they go.
Who are they playing this week?
Us.
Oh, St Kilda.
We've got them. Yeah.
Well, why don't we tip the round?
We belted them last
may as well.
Thursday night. Fucking hell. So both teams, Port and Carlton, are playing their 3rd game in 11 days. For context, if that means anything at all.
Shit. How do you go at Adelaide Oval historically?
We beat them there last year. We beat the Eagles at the Adelaide Oval earlier this year in Gather Round.
That's important.
We also got smashed by the Crows this year at the Adelaide Oval. So, yeah, it's a fraud. This is a bona fide fraud off.
Yeah. Well, look at your last 5 games compared to Port's. Exactly the same line.
Mm-hmm.
2 losses.
Who did they play just gone? Who did Port play just gone?
Sydney.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
In Sydney, right? Was it in Sydney?
Yeah. No, at the Adelaide Oval.
Oh, it was at Adelaide Oval.
TJ. Dagger to the heart, mate. Jeez. I mean, you're not wrong. You're actually not wrong. We are. I mean,
if you're going to take pot shots, that's a good one.
At least give the $5 to me, mate. Fucking hell.
Oh, you didn't get the $5.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Man,
look at Swoop just taking everything, mate.
Fucking hell, mate. Take my dignity while you're there. Fuck it.
No, I think almost for this. This is a weird thing, and this is coming from a Saints fan, but I think almost for Carlton supporters' sanity, I don't think you can win. You can't win this game because your hope will come back and the same cycle will repeat. You need to just be consistent now. Play where you're at, lose the game, and sort your shit out. Because if you win this, then you're going to get up and about for Collingwood. You're going to lose that, and then you're back to square one again. Like, just rip the Band-Aid off, hit reality, just be with it.
How much more reality do I need to see? I've seen reality.
Well, then, will you tip Port?
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh, that is brilliant. Time to perfection, Tez. That was genius, mate.
Yeah, not just a pretty face. So
he usually puts this on us, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to put it on him. Who are you going to tip?
I'll be honest. I did my preview. I just don't see how the Blues, who are showing such signs of disconnection to one another, can fix that in 5 days' time. It's just hard to see that these things won't appear again on Thursday night. But I will tip the Blues, even though I might say I'll tip Port. We're a mess, man. Oh, they're so bad. It's everyone. It's like, oh, man, it's just...
Here's a funny thing. Would you take Ken as a coach next year?
No.
You wouldn't take Ken?
No, I wouldn't say no to him as like a head of football if that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he'll be available. So
if he wanted to do head of football, then I wouldn't say no to that. Beef up the department. I also like the head of football at Port right now, Chris Davies. So look, whatever you guys tip, I'm tipping Carlton. You know that.
I think Port I think Port by like 2 goals. I think it'll be a very good game, actually. I don't think either team will get hold of the other. I think it'll be pretty close all day. I think just home ground. They won't lose 2 in a row at Adelaide Oval.
I'll tell you what happens. Port beat Carlton. Carlton get ridiculed in the media. Come out next week against Collingwood and beat the Pies. That's what happens.
See, that's the AFL media narrative that we like to hear.
I guarantee it.
His eyes have lit up.
I bet you that's what happens. And you can clip this as well.
You think we'll beat you next week? I mean,
if you guys get smashed by Port Adelaide, and I'm not talking like if you guys just win or just lose. If you guys get smashed and it's as bad as like the Kangaroos game where there's a lot of disconnect and stuff, not only will they get ridiculed badly in the media, and we might lose fucking Voss. You'll come out and absolutely give it to us.
I just can't see us beating Collingwood, and I'm one of the more optimistic Carlton supporters. But fair, so Port, yeah, right. Oh.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Port.
Does anybody have a lock of the week before we continue? Or should we just go game by game?
Let's go game by game for now.
Yeah, let's go.
Sydney Bulldogs.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I am all about the Swans' resurgence right now. I think we're about to see... Yep.
The Gordon factor.
Gordon and Papley.
Yep.
Callum Mills is getting some continuity. And I reckon the Swans will win this game at the SCG.
Can I just say, I want nothing more than the Doggies to fall out of the 8 because they're probably one of the teams that I would be most scared to play on their day, especially with Sam Darcy up and about and some of their really good, Bont is back to like almost like a Brownlow form from a couple of years ago. They would be absolutely devastated. They could be the team like Brisbane last year that win the flag from outside the top 4.
I'm tipping the Dogs.
Yeah, in saying that, I'm tipping the Dogs as well. But I'd love this one.
I think, it was interesting during the week. They posted the Dogs how they're Flat Track Bullies or Flat Track Bulldogs, which was a genius headline by the AFL. And yes, they smash everyone below them on the ladder, and Sydney are below them on the ladder. So they'll do what they need to do. They'll take care of them.
Gold Coast, Melbourne at People First Stadium.
Oh, I can't see the Suns dropping this. No way.
Suns. Yeah, they'll be pissed after last week.
They've lost 3 in a row?
To who? So to the Giants. To
Geelong.
Who's there? I'm trying to think of the other team.
I can check it. Hang on.
Adelaide? No, they've
Fremantle. So Fremantle
GWA.
Fremantle by 11.
What are you talking about?
The Cats and then the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys
some
can
pretty
see
good teams. They'll yeah. They haven't shown me that much that they won't beat Melbourne. I think they'll beat Melbourne.
Hawthorn, North, Tassie. Are you a believer?
Nah, Hawks.
What Hawthorn have won the last 2. You can't see, but Tassie, North could have a pep in their step after beating Carlton. Could they push Hawthorn? Are Hawthorn on the brink of dropping out of the 8? Do you reckon? Surely not, right?
No. Let me tell you something. When Carlton lose to a bad team,
they get smashed the next week.
That bad team stays bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hawthorn it is.
Collingwood, West Coast. If you dare try and give me the banana peel situation.
No, 100%.
Nah, this will be 50
plus. They've got no McGovern, obviously, and also McGovern just hope he's okay for the rest of his life. So shout out to him. One of the best defenders that I've seen, and the reason why I know Dom Sheed kicked that goal, but he was the reason why that started. He was the main guy that won them the flag in 2018. Yeah. So they've got no Oscar Allen, no fucking Waterman in the forward line. So it doesn't matter that we sort of don't have Billy Frampton this week at least. And then they don't really have any tall defenders and no tagger, thankfully. So Nick should have 45 and 3.
Okay. Richmond, Adelaide at the MCG on Sunday. This is one of the worst Sunday slates that you'll see, by the way. But yeah.
Adelaide by a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, you know what? I take that back. I take that back because I think the Saints can do something here.
I think so too. I
was going to say Saints as well.
I'm tipping the Saints.
Oh, well, I mean, we're not the favourites for a reason, and Freo were good at home. But last time we played them, the form line was similar. We were 3-game losing streak. They were 4 of their last 5 they had won. They'd just beaten Adelaide at Optus, and then we belted them by 10 goals. And everyone said it was a dour, boring Friday night game, but I quite enjoyed it. So now they get their Sunday slot, and hopefully we can do the same.
Albert, I think I agree. The Saints are a fucking lock this week.
Yeah.
I'm not really a gambling man too much, but what are they paying?
We'd be 350 or something.
350?
I don't know. We'd be around that mark. We wouldn't be under that.
What are the odds for St Kilda? 350? Mate.
380. 380 at the moment.
Yeah.
The Saints will beat Fremantle.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm doing a watch along with Woody, so if we do, champagne will be
I'm gonna have to tune in.
I'm very clearly seeing you happy on a Sunday night.
Well, I think most Saints fans don't want us. Or maybe not. Maybe I won't put words into their mouths, but I think some Saints fans would be happy for us to just keep playing the kids and being competitive, but not winning. You know, like stay in that bottom 4 echelon for the picks. But
I forgot about the kids. Okay.
What do you mean the kids?
Like are you playing like bulk kids now?
Nah, we're not doing it.
No,
just
still
cause.
A bit of a mix. Yeah.
Yeah, we brought in.
They've got capacity. Like they can still they're not completely children out there.
No, our average age on the weekend was 25 and a half. So it's still
how many players are playing this week who have had less than 20 games experience?
Well, Tyru would play, Travalia. One or both of Garcia Boxall will come in for sure.
Killer.
Kilda will most likely play. Who else hasn't had minimal game time?
Like
Under
real
20
kids.
games?
You know what I mean? Like kids,
mean,
like genuine bona
Yeah,
fide kids.
them. Like Darcy Wilson, you wouldn't count as a kid, right?
Okay.
I mean, would you? He's played probably 30 games.
Okay. No, he's not. He's a kid, but like not like a pup, like first year player. You know.
Yeah. Max Heath, maybe some people think we might debut Max Heath in the ruck and go 2 rucks against Jackson, depending on Darcy, if Darcy plays. But yeah, I don't think it'll. I think we'll go 1 or 2 changes, Filippo out, and yeah, that'll be about it really. So, oh no. Yeah, he's ended. I love that the stream just ended on that. That's brilliant.
I hate football.
I like that I can kind of sit back now and just enjoy this a little bit more. I say that, but if we get done by 80 points on the weekend, I'll be coming in a little worse for wear.
A little bit hot.
Yeah, 100%.
Said this last week, like Jake, not the same without you. It is 100% not the same without Pommy. Like you just
No game show.
It's an hour 10. Usually we're going overtime, but
that's true.
I mean that's 20 minutes of his monologues. Let's face it. So
Pommy's great for fodder, like show content fodder. Like he can fill time.
Yeah.
Like nobody else. Yeah.
I wish we could watch some bad takes of the week, or take the piss out of something, but we can get some people on if they want to have a chat. I mean,
well, I think the worst take of the week was what you said earlier. Fucking Jack Rewalt saying Ben King wasn't a big key forward.
What was his actual quote? Let's go. Let's have a look. Because that is like I don't actually understand what he was talking about. So he goes, speaking on Fox Footy's On the Couch, Rewalt said he wasn't convinced in King being Gold Coast's leading pillar in attack. I look at Ben King and in his output this year, he's going okay, but what does he provide outside of kicking goals? I mean, that's his job, mate. He had a couple of really good games at the start of the year with bags of 5 and 6 against West Coast and North. I'm starting to come to the belief I don't think Ben King can be a big finals key forward. He hasn't played a final. He doesn't get the ball enough and they're getting smacked in contested ball ahead of the ball. He's not a key forward. He's a tall half-forward flanker. I mean, there are some bad takes. There are some seriously bad takes. But to call Ben King a tall half-forward flanker who's not a big finals player, who's never played a final?
Yeah.
Hey?
Jack Rewalt's not really one to go like that
That's what I was thinking.
That's why I thought it was a weird take.
Yeah. Tall forward.
Does he mean? Woody said, "Does he mean Ben Long?" Probably. He probably got the bloody names wrong.
Like he's kicked 35 goals. He's 4th in the Coleman.
And he's kicked he's just a big presence. Like what more do you want from your key forward?
He's down on score involvements compared to like a Jezza Cameron who's got 110 to 65, but his accuracy is good, 63%, which is same as Jeremy Cameron, above everyone else except Hogan, who's 71%, which is just like off the charts. But that's like such a rant. It's almost like to me like he didn't have anything for the show that night, and he just thought he was just trying to shortcut his way to just a crazy topic, and he just said that. And that's the stuff that like Kane Corns can say stuff, but it has a little bit of substance. Most of the time it has substance. Sometimes it's stupid, but most of the time Kane's got a point. That has like 0 points. No one can say that that's correct. No one. He's labeling a guy who's 4th in the Coleman not a finals-ready player who can stand up in a final. He's never played one, Jack.
So
that's such a random take.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I don't think Paddy Cripps is a premiership winning leading captain or something. Well, he hasn't played in a grand final yet, mate. So you know what I mean? Like it's just as equally stupid saying that. Not
as if like. Well, didn't Jack Rewalt also say to give Tom Lynch a call?
Yeah, that's actually, yeah. What did he say about that? I've got it here.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Regardless, Rewalt thinks Hardwick should reach out to Lynch to try form a reunion of the pair who won multiple flags together during Richmond's golden era and see if he wanted to finish his career where it started. If I'm Damien Hardwick, I'd put a call into Tom Lynch and say, Tom, I know what you can do ahead of the ball. We're averaging 59 inside 50s, the best in the competition. Have you got 2 years of footy ahead of you to potentially play in another flag under me? That's the question Damien Hardwick has to find out. I reckon Tom Lynch has held up pretty well this year for Richmond in a very undermanned side. I mean, what? Like, Tom Lynch is cooked, and they want to bring him in with Ben. Ah, man.
Nah,
it makes me feel silly.
There's just no way.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I've heard worse takes
That's
before.
bad.
Like, I said the Blues would win 16 or 17 games this year.
Sam McClure said you don't know football if you think Carlton aren't winning the flag this year as well. So there are worse takes.
There's always a worst take, isn't there?
I did see Tom Morris before this show say that unofficially that Corey Enright is our next head coach, Saints' next senior coach after Ross, his successor.
When's Ross's contract up? End of next year?
He signed a 2-year extension this year, so end of 2027.
Oh,
I can't see Ross leaving in the next 3 to 4 years.
I mean, Corey Enright, he's now head of football for us and he's doing a great job. He was the backline coach before that for 2 years and that's why he was so good, I think, defensively. Geelong would want to get him back, but I think when he became footy boss, I kind of thought we're already prepping him for the number one job, I think. So that would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other bad take? I mean, that's a good take, but any other poor takes we've seen during the week? Put in the comments, what's the worst take you've seen or read?
I actually think it's been pretty good. I haven't seen really any. Well, it was only Tuesday though, so. And we got to remember that there was 4 less teams playing as well, so there wasn't a lot of things going on. I think Oscar Allen getting knee surgery when he just did his calf or whatever it was, just setting him up for next year at Brisbane. Oh yeah, well, I saw that today. Yep.
How much for?
8 figures, I think.
Oh
yeah, and
they said
Hawthorn bought it for $1. Is that
$1? Yeah, so anything is profit. Yep.
That's nuts.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll I mean, who's their next target? That'll go straight to another free agent, I would have thought.
Well, yeah. What are they going to use? Is it for AFLW? Is that the idea?
I think it's.
Is that what
I think it's
doing?
for I think it's training and stuff. For umpire
Hawthorn.
training.
Oh,
no,
okay.
For the AFL. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Charlie West finally getting his debut against the Eagles this week. Dude kicked the winning goal against Sandringham on the weekend. Kicked 6 goals. Kicked 18 goals in his first 6 weeks of the VFL. Very excited to see how he goes about it. First time Collingwood's drafted a key forward in about 10 years. So
yeah,
fingers crossed.
Charlie West. Charlie West.
That's a bad take. The Ollie Florent for Harry Mackay.
Oh.
What do you reckon of that, Tez? Would you take that? Florent for Mackay? It's not.
Jay Clark, there was something about his body language and posture that really pissed me off. Just the way he was asking questions about Carlton with his pompous posture, it just really rubbed me up the wrong way this week. So I'm going to be watching him very closely over the next couple of weeks.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Yeah. He's not quite on the blacklist yet. He's not in the book. Only a few have made the book.
Who's in the book? Are we allowed
John
to
Ralph.
know?
Yeah, absolutely. You're allowed to know. John Ralph is in the book, not coming out, and his day will come. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Anybody else in the book?
Dan Gorringe for Sam Walsh. Would you take that trade? Actually, yeah. Put in the comments your best trade for Harry Mackay. Realistically, Someone asked me if I would take Harry, but I don't know what. He's contracted for a fair amount of time, isn't he? He's got a huge
He's
deal,
contracted until 2030, so you're going to have to fork out a couple of picks.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
6 years, far out.
He's not worth 2 firsts.
On the open market, he is for
You
a team
reckon?
that needs a key forward.
How
If
old
you're a team that's a key forward away from really contending or like helping you rise up, I think you would pay 2 firsts.
Which will be probably like, maybe not Brisbane because they got Logan Morris coming through, but Sydney definitely.
Well, Brisbane are
And
going to get
also-
Allen, aren't they?
And also,
Yeah.
you're not paying
Yeah.
top dollar. So he's obviously got a longer term contract, but you're not paying market value per year for him.
Yeah.
So he's absolutely
true.
worth 2 first rounders. You get him for 6 years. 5. I mean, I don't want him to go, but like I could understand why an offer would come for him.
Michael Voss for Mick Malthouse. TJ.
Do you guys
Sounds
think
fun,
Carlton should sack Voss?
What's that going to accomplish? You've been doing it for the last 20 years.
Okay, but
Like,
what if we just got it
surely-
wrong again?
Like, how many times?
When
can
did
you
he
get it
come
wrong,
in?
though?
When was he? How many years has he been there?
This is his
22,
fourth
wasn't
year.
it?
He's 4th. Oh, geez, I
Fourth
thought it was
season.
third. Okay. That might
4th
change
season.
things. He's made finals twice. He's made a prelim once
And only just missed out on finals in his first year, thanks to the.
to the 1 point. Yep. Damn, that's a hard call. You pull the trigger now and then. I don't know. It's hard. You kind of have to see how the season goes. I'd hate.
Unless
I
like
wouldn't hate
Simpson
it, but-
or Longmire says they want to coach again.
Yeah, unless a big fish secretly behind the scenes is. It's like, probably what Ross was doing with Rats and the Saints is like, I'm ready. You just let me know when, and we pulled the trigger, pulled the rug from under Ratton, and it was harsh, but maybe that's Voss is your Rats in a way, you know what I mean? Like maybe there is a big fish out there you're waiting for, but there's none yet. And maybe that's prolonging Voss's tenor, you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Voss, no. If I was Voss, I would walk away. I mean, I don't think Voss is that type of bloke.
Yeah, I don't think
He'll
like that.
he wants to win. He clearly wants to succeed, obviously. So he's not gonna.
Buckley will not coach Carlton. He won't.
Nah.
No way. Buckley will go to
The only
maybe
team
like
he would
Tassie
coach
or Melbourne or
is Tassie.
something.
I don't think
Would
he
you-
would coach any other team apart from Tassie.
If you got pumped by Port, do you think he could could he face
Please.
getting this? Would he get the sack? Do you think if you lose
If
to
he
Port
what?
by 10 goals? If you lose to Port by 10 goals, does he?
I mean, if
like-
you lose to Port, if they come out and so in 2021, Port Adelaide kicked 19 straight goals against us over there. If something
Jesus.
bad like that happens and the disconnect is there again, and it's like 10 plus goals thrashing, like maybe. I'm honestly I'm
reckon-
at this point where like whatever, I'm just kind of like trying to get through to the end of the year.
Yeah, I reckon sign him up for another 10 years. He's doing a good job.
Well, yeah, I think as an opposition supporter, I mean, you beat us with him, so
I reckon United should have signed Ten Hag for another 10 years as well.
I reckon Ange is waiting behind the scenes. I'm calling it. I know Pom's not here. I reckon the Postecoglou he's just sending the CEO some.
Could you imagine?
Could you imagine Ange just like big dogs here?
Just Luke's dog would coach us better.
Clarky, you want to coach Carlton? Oh, he's pissed off. Oh, he's gone. I think he's gone to take a shit.
You need to just draft players that have the intensity of Cooper Lord. So I rate him. I think he's a good kid. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
What, you don't like it? I think he's a great kid. I think
Yeah,
you need more of
yeah.
a mold of that,
Yeah, too bad Voss subbed him this week.
I don't get that, man. I don't get that. I'd take Cooper Lord any day. He plays for the jumper at least when he's out there.
Mate, I don't get anything with the Blues anymore. I tried last week to rally like one last time. You know what I got? I got a fucking Monday morning stick fat from Patrick Cripps.
Oh, I read
watched
about that. Yeah.
I watched that video that you.
Correct me
put
if
out.
I'm wrong.
I wanted to mention it. Oh, okay.
Be honest with me. have the Carlton fans stuck fat?
Yes.
Stuck back for the last 30 years.
Yes. The crowds would and memberships would obviously show that. You sign up, you turn up.
Why would a club tell the fans to do so?
Because they don't know what else to say, Terry. That's why. Because they're in panic stations. That is the media manager telling the captain, you got to say something. I would rather my captain come out and say, that was shit. That is not good enough. As a club, we should, we've got to get to work, but own it. Don't just say it's on you to stick with us. It's on, we need to give you a reason to stick with us.
You know what? I might have it here. Oh, wait. I do.
It was almost preemptive.
This was Tom Green after the Giants lost the final.
Giants Army, thank you very much for the season that was. From our perspective, we're really sorry in that I suppose we didn't repay the faith that you guys showed in us all year coming out, the loud support. We really appreciate it. It's going to hurt. I know it hurts you guys. It hurts us too. And we'll do better for you next year. But thank you again, and your support means the world to us.
Just like he's going to cry. Like you could feel it. Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
Wait, did Cripper do a video?
He was stopped at the front of Icon Park by the journos, and he did like a mini presser.
So he wasn't prepped for it.
But you're the captain of the club,
prepped.
right?
Yeah.
As in, the journos would have told the club that we're on the way. So we're going to stop him. Yeah. So he would have known that they were going to be there. And and I love Cripps, and he's been a warrior for the club, but he did the same stick fat message in 2019 for Bolton, and he did the same stick fat message for Teague in 2021 as well. And he's also part of he's an employee as well. I just think there's just so many of them on the inside that are just weaseled their way with the way that they politicize on the inside and build relationships with the right people up the top, that they just find themselves escaping scrutiny. I'm telling you, man, I will do everything in my power to make sure it. I think Graham Wright knows, actually. I don't need to do anything. It's just like the elephant in the room. The head of football has to go tomorrow, preferably. He's got to go.
Also, the on the stick fat message that Cripps sent out to stick fat to Carlton supporters who are already sticking fat. It's like when, if I'm washing the dishes and then, not that I live with mum, but when I did live with mum and she would tell me, you need to wash the dishes, and I'm already washing them, it would make me not want to wash them. Like, I'm doing it. How can you see that I'm not doing that? Now I don't want to do it anymore. Because you told me that I had to 100%. Do it and I'm doing it, I don't want to do it. So it's just a weird, not a reverse psychology, but like I wouldn't stick, now as a Carlton supporter, I wouldn't stick fat.
It's disingenuous, but it's also almost outside reality where it's like he doesn't notice that you're sticking fat already. And that would piss me off, because I would rather him say, I know you're sticking fat and I know this is frustrating for you and you're turning up every single week and we thank you so much for it. This isn't good enough. We're going to bounce back next week against Port away. Looking forward to making the away fans proud. Thanks for turning up today. That wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Was that fucking hard? I said it better than Cripper. I can send him the script, mate.
I was just about to say, watch it in the next presser when Voss and Cripps do a joint presser before the Port Adelaide game. That's what they're going to say.
This is Carlton. It's all about the optics. We don't want to look like it's all about the optics, and it's just got to stop. And I do think that's why you see so many Carlton content creators, because where there is a void of honesty, someone or something will fill it, and that's what you see.
Yeah, it's owning it. Own your mistakes. Don't tell other people what to do or how they should perceive you. They want to hear you perceive yourself as what you really are. Yeah. And that's in a shit position and not playing footy that you're expected to play.
Anyway.
That's how I would.
I don't want to talk about the Blues. I'm going to talk about them tomorrow.
But it's an interesting discussion, though. Like in general, how should a captain frame something in a difficult situation as one of the bigger clubs? Even not as look at Green. He's got a supporter base that probably memberships are 20,000. He says that he nails it. Cripper's he's got more people care about what he has to say because there's more members. So he's got to nail it, absolutely nail it, and he didn't. So
you've actually, after I Clark if he wanted to coach Carlton. He's waiting. He's waiting by the door. He wants to run away. He doesn't. He doesn't even like the prospect of the idea of him coaching him. Look at him. He's ready to run.
Wait, this time next week, are we previewing a Carlton Collingwood clash? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, 100%, man. We're gonna go to the MCG, brother.
Do you want to film at the MCG? We'll sit on the bench, like at the front
Yeah,
there.
why not? Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
All right.
Done. Done.
All right, ladies and gents,
Damn.
thank you very much for tuning in. That was fun.
Let's do it.
Hope your teams all win.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
Here we
See you next
go.
See
Big
ya.
week. Go Pies.